Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to talk about another V-Star. We knew that we were getting 4 V-Stars in Brilliant Stars. That had been announced, that was official. And we knew that one of them was going to be Arceus and one of them was going to be Charizard. And we'd previously been shown them, and that was lovely. And we knew that one of them was going to be Shaymin. And we had been shown the pack art, showing us Shaymin. But we'd not actually been shown Shaymin. Well, that all changes today, ladies and gentlemen. That all changes today. We've got ourselves a rather lovely Shaymin. Also, shout out to lovely Antoine Boulet, who has provided our translations and is a very lovely person. So, Shaymin VSTAR. How excited should we be getting? Well, we need to actually start off first with Shaymin V, and we'll get to the V-Star in a moment. So what we've got here is 190 HP, which is kind of low, honestly. Retreat cost of 1 is nice and low, so that's quite nice. 1 grass energy, 30 damage is, well, it's not great, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be honest with you, it's not great. Maybe you'll find something grass weak, and that'd be cool. It's not great, if I'm honest with you. But 1 grass, 1 colorless energy, Revenge Burst, 60 damage, plus 40 more for each prize card your opponent has taken. So then, of course, we get into the question of, well, alright, when does it start getting good? And the answer is 4 prizes. That's when it starts getting really good. Now, to be fair, 3 prizes, you're talking 120, plus 60 base, that's 180. That is enough to get a KO on something like a Crobat or a Cricketune. What that means is you're going to be able to get cheeky, easy KOs. That's rather lovely. However, it's not really what we're going for. It's just a decent start. Now, if we have 4 prizes taken by our opponent, then we got 160, plus the 60 base is 220, and now we are rolling, because now we're getting a nice one-hit KO on basically any Pokemon V. And that's rather lovely. Incidentally, with 5 prizes taken, you hit 260, you'll get like weak V-Stars. It's honestly not very relevant, so sorry about that. But 3 or 4 prizes taken, you're hitting relevant numbers here. It's only 2 energy, so it's nice and easy to get rolling. And one of them is a colorless energy, so you can use any kind of energy acceleration. I mean, something like Melanie would work here, which is a little bit weird, but it totally would. And then you're hitting really nice numbers. Like I say, 3 prizes your opponent's taken, you're hitting 180, that's relevant. 4 prizes taken, you're hitting 220, that's relevant. They are big numbers. Sure, you're a little bit of a... I'll be honest with you, right? You're kind of a glass cannon, it's a little bit sad, you're going to go down very quickly. But this can take some legit double prize knockouts, and that's really, really relevant. Should also mention if they've taken 2 prizes, you hit 140. That'll be good for the vast, vast majority of single prize Pokemon. But you don't really want to use this for single prize Pokemon, do ya? Like, if we're honest. Now, at this stage, this is where I would compare it to Shaymin V. If we'd had a Shaymin V, unfortunately, we've had no Shaymin V. We've had 2 Shaymin in the Sword and Shield block, and they have both been, to put it bluntly, slightly uninspiring. But we do have a V-Star, and I suppose that's going to help. Now, remember the deal with V-Star? They evolve from Pokemon V in the same way that Pokemon V Max do. And they give up 2 prizes, not 3. And they have a once per game V-Star power. What that means is, if you use Shaymin's V-Star power, you can't then use Arceus or Charizard, or any of those along those lines. It's got to be just the one. Okay, so we start off with 250 HP, which is horrendous. Like, I showed you Arceus has 280, I showed you Charizard has 280, and there's only 2 others we've seen, and those are your Leafeon and Glaceon, that are coming as promos in their own boxes, and they have 260 and 260. And that's low. 250's honestly kind of embarrassing. Although, to be fair, the biggest thing you're worried about weakness-wise is Victini, and you were always going to get got by Victini. The weakness was always going to be a bit of a deal. Okay, we're not loving that. Retreat Cost of 1 is nice and low, though, so that's quite good. Grass doesn't really hit that much for weakness at the moment, which is a little bit sad. So, I don't know. Sorry about that. Yeah, never mind. What we've got here is 1 attack, 1 grass, 1 colorless energy, Revenge Burst, 120 damage, plus 40 more for each prize card your opponent has already taken. Well, remember that V-Star give up 2 prizes, and V give up 2 prizes, so you're not giving up any extra prizes by evolving here, you're just gaining 60 HP. But you are also gaining 60 damage. So now, if your opponent's taken 2 prizes, you're hitting 200 damage, which is enough to get things like Crobat and Kricketune, and basically any single prize Pokemon. If your opponent's taken 3 prizes, you're hitting 240, which is enough to get basically any Pokemon V at all, because that's a lot of damage. But this is where it gets interesting. If your opponent's taken 4 prizes, you're hitting 280. That's going to get V-Star. 4 4s are 160, add to 120 is 280. And I've shown you that the 2 big V-Stars both have 280 HP. So now, if your opponent's taken 4 prizes, you're hitting really good numbers against, whoa, Pokemon V-Star. And then, if your opponent's taken 5 prizes, you're hitting 320. And 320 won't get every Pokemon VMAX. There are a few out there that will unfortunately survive, and that's a little bit sad. But 320 is about the average. So now, you've got a Pokemon that can not only just one-hit KO Pokemon V, which is really what Shaymin V was doing, but you're also getting one-hit KOs on V-Stars and V-Maxes. If your opponent's taken enough prizes, this adds up very, very, very quickly in a way that could, well, to put it bluntly, absolutely smash some games. Now, in terms of the V-Star power, we've got Star Bloom. You may use this ability during your turn. Heal 120 damage from each of your grass-type Pokemon. And I don't know what the format's going to look like in a year or two. And I don't know what decks are going to be good. And there's an awful lot I don't know. But as it stands at the moment, I don't really get this. Like, don't get me wrong, if you're playing an all-grass deck, sure, there are going to be some turns where you can absolutely wreck your opponent's entire game plan using this card. They've got a bunch of Pokemon being nearly KO'd and boom, off you go. But the fact of the matter is, there are a lot of Pokemon out there that are going to be one-hit KOing a 250 HP Pokemon. V-Maxes generally get 2-hit KO'd, but this is 250. Now, don't get me wrong, this can work with Grass V-Maxes, and I suppose that's your argument. But the thing is, let's take something like Ice Rider Calyrex. Ice Rider Calyrex is going to hit, generally speaking, for 250. That's generally what they're going to hit for. So they hit 250, you heal 120, they hit 250. Well, that's 380 in total. That's still a KO. Something like Genesect or Mew is going to hit for 210. You heal 120, they hit for 210. Oh, they've done 300 damage. That's not quite enough. Yeah, but they got Power Tablet. So they can use Power Tablet to get that KO. And this is kind of my point here. I'm not sure that 120 is actually going to do enough in terms of preventing key KOs. And if it's not going to do enough to prevent key KOs, I don't know if this is good enough for me to be a once per game thing. And if we compare that to some of the others, Arceus V-Star, you search your deck for any 2 cards and put them into your hand. That is a game-ending attack. Charizard V-Star has an attack which does 320 damage, which you get a one-hit KO on anything but the most powerful V-Maxes. That's a game-changing, game-winning ability or attack. Power. This, I think there will be absolutely times it's good, don't get me wrong, but I do not see this as being as impactful as a lot of the other V-Star powers we've seen so far. it seems like it's a nice bonus. It will work in some games, whereas things like Arceus and Charizard seem like they are going to regularly win you games. This is going to work in an entirely grass deck if your opponent isn't getting one-hit KOs, and if the healing 120 is going to be enough to turn a 2-hit KO into a 3-hit KO. And I honestly don't know how often that's going to happen. But I actually love the attack on Shaymin V and Shaymin VSTAR. I think it's a really good Pokemon. I don't know if I'd build a deck around it, but I do think that in a grass deck, it's a phenomenal attacker, which can get a whole bunch of really good key KOs. So the V-Star power doesn't have to be that good, because I'm not relying on it like I am with some of the other Pokemon. I'm going to give it a nice solid between 4 and 5 Wassies. When I give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. And honestly here, it's for the attack, not the V-Star power. It's a nice bonus, but I really don't think it's going to work as much as we might like. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I think about it. But now I want to know what you think about it. We've only got one more V-Star to be revealed from Brilliant Stars. That is Whimsicott. So tell me what you think Whimsicott might do. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.